Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at thetechtrader.com. It's Thursday, the 2nd of June, and these are the charts of the day. Look, kind of a really nice day after a lousy start, and this market closed at the high for the day going away. There was a lot of stocks led by the biotechs, it seems, and some of the semiconductors, but those are the groups we're expecting to lead. And I'm going to show you quite a few of the possibilities in the biotech sector that are acting really well. For example, AGIO. Now, after a big decline, it took this from 125 all the way down to 34. The stock double bottomed, ran up to resistance, backed off, retested the moving average 3 times here, and then has really been running of late. 6 days in a row, 8 of the last 9, the stock is up. It was up another 365 or 6.3% today, and volume was 875,000, which is strong volume for that stock. The OBV is making new highs, way ahead of price, so that's a really good sign. I'm looking for this stock now at this point to make it a move on 68, another 7 or 8 points. But there may be some resistance at about 64.5 range coming up near the top of this channel. We'll see. There's 10 days to cover. That could help. ARRY. Well, this junior biotech, after getting all the way up near 9, it came down to 2 and change, based out and broke out. And if you can see, since the biotechs have been moving, this one participated from about the 270 range, nearly 4. The actual high on this was 396 the other day, and it's consolidated for a couple of days. It moved nicely. You can see where support is around the 365, 67 area. But more importantly, and the reason I'm showing it to you, there's 12.5 days to cover. The stock took out the declining tops line, and if volume picks up dramatically, we may very well quickly see this at 445 and then at 5.25. Those are kind of short-term targets. CLDX, really liking the way this one goes. As you know, it was a big winner for us when it went from the 12 range all the way up into the 30s. But since then, you can see the stock has come dramatically lower, bounced after a V-bottom in March like many biotechs did, and then retested in an orderly fashion. Now, in the last couple weeks, it's moved up, wedged, and broke out again. Today, jumping from 451 to 5, closing right at 5, the high for the day. You may see a follow through tomorrow. But there is some resistance right here at the 496.5 zone. If we can get a punch through tomorrow or a breakaway gap, this could very well be $6 very quickly. 7 days to cover. Clean Energy, CLNE, after a multiple wave move down, it formed a wedging or coiling base. Today, the stock popped out of that base, traded 2.7 million, and was up almost 8%. There's resistance and a target coming up around 4. If we get through that range, we could very well be seeing this make a run sometime in the next few weeks up towards 6.25. Almost 5 days to cover in that. CLRB with a big drop from the 30s all the way down to under $1. Incredible. Exploded on positive drug news from 1 to 5. Then it formed a falling wedge, and today popped out nicely. Now, it didn't close at anywhere near the high at 450, but it was still up 74 cents or 23.5%. On 8 million shares. It looks to me like it may have broken out, but the key is going to be if you see the high here at 505 and the recent spike high at 493, between 495 and 505 is the critical resistance. So let's watch this one tomorrow, because if it gets through that, we're looking at a $7 stock again. And that's not going to be a far cry considering how high this was in July of last year at 39. Now, EXEL is up against the double top. We've been watching this for a while. It's really been fabulous in the last couple of weeks, going from 4.25 to 6.75. That's a 50% run. And from the low of 3.5, it's been doing very nicely. Steady OBV run up. Stock's at resistance in here. Should it get through, though, we're looking at 8.5. So this could be an interesting runner if it spikes. There's 9.3 days to cover. Swing trade FIVN acting well. After it pulled back sharply, it spiked, formed a little flag, pulled back for a day or two, and then popped again. Today was up a nominal amount, 31 cents or 3%, but it just looks to me like something that wants to continue to move. Now, looking at a weekly chart, you'll see this is all-time high territory. I have a projection mid-channel around 12.25. Beyond that, this could be a stock in the mid-teens. There's 4.2 days to cover on this one. GLOG. Well, we put a swing chart on it recently when it broke out, and it stalled for a couple of days, but it looks to me like it's setting up to go with OBV moving up steadily. What I want to see is kind of get over 1370, my next target, and then 15.5. Nearly 7 days to cover. Intercept Pharmaceuticals. Well, this one, as you know, exploded back here 2 years ago when it had positive drug news. Went all the way up to 497. Eventually, over the next couple of years, worked its way down to the February lows when most biotechs got hammered. This one got down to 90. Subsequently, it's gone up to 169 today. And that's the highest level achieved since December. The declining top line's been broken. And right now, it's just moved through the April high and maybe seeing higher levels. I'm looking for 200 coming up. 8 days to cover on this one. Well, Joy had a big day today, up 366 or 22% on 11.8 million. But what that did is it took out a double resistance level, and we may very well see a follow-through that takes it up near 22, followed by a move towards 28, my intermediate target or secondary target. Nearly 4 days to cover on that one. JUNO. Put a swing on this late in the day today, and I maybe anticipating. It just feels like after the V bottom, run up to resistance, retest, this entire consolidation here, which has lasted 3 months, is ready to break out and run. The next leg could conceivably take us about 23 points. If measured off of here, that measures 60. Now 55, 58 is my target if we get through this area here. Could be a big one, there's 9 days to cover. KERX, well, this swing trade finally broke out. It had a pop of 71 cents or 12%. It traded 4.5 million. That's the second biggest volume in a couple months, but more importantly, coming out of the base. At this point, I'm looking for a run to 8, followed by 10. 13.3 days to cover. Another biotech we like is Kite. Kite broke out of its coiling base pattern today across the declining tops line, but has some work to do to get up to 56, my next target. We'd get to there, the target 62 and 64. 8.2 days to cover. See how heavily shorted these biotechs are? That's what could be causing the squeeze here. And what's the beneficiary of that? It's the LABU with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down and now a base over the last few months since February. It's moved up steadily in the last 2 weeks from the 22 to the 40 range, tagging 39.89 today basically. But this is the highest level achieved since January. If we can get through this triple top at 41.20, this could very well run into the 50 range. NARV, well, with the explosive move we had a week ago and the 2-day consolidation, yesterday was a pop breakout and today was a follow-through. Didn't close great, kind of expecting maybe we get up to 16, 17. It did pull back, but nevertheless it was still up, 42 cents or 3% on 5 million. So we're going to continue to look for follow-through. OLED, the swing trade's working great. The breakout came there and then the big slide, but it recovered dramatically, going from 52 to nearly to over 70 today, and reaching my swing target. My next target is 78.9. 4.7 days to cover. Another biotech we're watching carefully is OPHT. Dramatic move down and another beautiful inverse head and shoulders. And today was the pop to the upside. I think we're going to test 62-ish, and we get through that. The target has to be about 69. 7 days to cover on that one. PETX swing trade acting well, up another 36 cents or 5% today. Right up against the double top. We get through here. I'm looking for 9 and 11.5. I think we get it too. 6 days to cover. Seattle Genetics, one of my favorites, popped across the declining tops line out of resistance. I'm looking for an extension test 45.5 short term. We get through that, we could see 49. 19 days to cover on that one. And finally, Taser, which took some time, but it's finally moving. And you can see the last 3 weeks. It's moved from 17 to nearly 23. Slowly but surely, not getting too far ahead of itself. I'd like to see a little bit better technicals. But my targets are 24, 26.5, and 30 going forward with 10.3 days to cover. And that's the extent of the call tonight. You guys have a great evening.